Thanks, Rita. Hello there. Good evening. Welcome to the Late Look North. Farmers are warning that food prices could go up as the cost of fertiliser is increasing due to the war in Iran. Now, fertilisers are crucial in food production, and the Middle East is a major producer of one key ingredient, urea. Now, just 3 weeks ago, urea was selling for £346 a tonne, but last week it had gone up by almost a third to £509 a tonne. Today, President Trump said he'd been discussing a resolution to the conflict with Iran, which led to an immediate fall in the price of oil. But Kathy Killick has been speaking to one arable farmer in North Yorkshire who is still concerned.
Out and about to check on his crops, arable farmer Philip Metcalfe has a lot to think about. Now is the peak season for applying fertiliser to his winter wheat, but the price has shot up thanks to the war in the Middle East affecting supplies of urea, a key ingredient. Luckily, he bought 90% of what he needs back in the autumn, but planning ahead is now much more complex.
We have a decision to make. Do we buy fertiliser at an inflated price, or do we consider our options and maybe not even grow the crops, or do we put less fertiliser on and hence we will then see less of a yield?
Quite difficult things to weigh up, aren't they?
Definitely, yes. Yeah, I mean, as growers, we just want to grow crops profitably.
Well, this is what everyone's talking about, urea, a key component of fertiliser, and it comes from natural gas, and a lot of it is made in the Gulf. Now, these are actually the last of Philip Metcalfe's stocks. He's got enough ready mixed for this growing season, but it's the next growing season that's causing a lot of uncertainty. For now, the sprayers are being loaded up as usual, so yields will depend on the weather. But future supply shortages could lead to lower yields, which in turn pushes up prices. So the National Farmers Union is asking the government to look at maintaining urea supplies from other parts of the world.
Hopefully most people have got the product they need now. Hopefully there's enough in the country for this spring, so the spring is the key time. It will have an impact on price, so obviously that has an impact on the economics, which is going to put pressure on. And something like the arable sector, which is growing sort of corn, wheat and barley and other cereals, there's already pressure there. So this is it's knocking confidence.
The government says it's monitoring overall urea supplies, and the UK is not heavily dependent on imports from the Middle East, though the country is exposed to international price fluctuations. Rising fuel prices are also affecting farmers' margins, so most, if not all, will be hoping for a speedy conclusion to the war and a return to relative economic stability. Kathy Killick, BBC Look North, near Richmond.
A teenager has been charged with attempted murder after a 14-year-old boy was stabbed in Sheffield. The incident happened in Market Square in the Woodhouse area last Wednesday. The victim, whose injuries were described as life-threatening, is now stable and recovering well, according to South Yorkshire Police. A 17-year-old boy who's too young to be named will appear at Sheffield Magistrates Court tomorrow. The South Bank area of Leeds has been named on the government's shortlist of 7 places in England where new towns could be built. Now, those places will have environmental assessments done next before a final decision is made later in the year. Leeds City Council say the new town would be within an area already earmarked for development on the south bank of the city, but exact boundaries have not yet been decided. Ministers say building work at 3 sites will start by 2029, and each one would see between 10,000 and 40,000 homes built. Experts have been presenting evidence about pollution around Scarborough's coastline at a meeting at the Town Hall today. Now, last week, water quality in the South Bay was rated poor by the Environment Agency, and the North Bay was rated adequate. A scientist from Durham University has found one of the main sources of pollution comes from a beck close to the North Bay. Yorkshire Water has pledged £150 million to improve water quality and make it safer for people to swim in the sea.
For 2030, the idea is to reduce those spills. Now, we're still in the early stage of designing what that looks like. Now, historically, it might be storing it, what we call sustainable urban drainage systems. There's a number of ways. It'll probably be a hybrid of all those solutions that will also reduce the amount of spills that comes from that asset. But that's our ambition. By 2030, we'll achieve that. It's a tall order, but it's something we're committed to do. It's very ambitious, and it will take everybody involved in the partnership to help support us with that plan.
And finally tonight, Matt Fitzpatrick won the third PGA Tour title, beating American David Lipsky by 1 shot to take the Valspar Championship in Florida. Fitzpatrick, who's from Sheffield, sunk a 14-foot putt to birdie the 18th hole. It's his first PGA Tour title in almost 3 years. Well done to him. It looks gorgeous weather there in Florida, doesn't it? I think we'll be lucky if we get that here this week. Here's Keely.
Hello there, good evening. It could turn out to be a pretty soggy day across the hills tomorrow. Very little rain further east until later, but everywhere it's going to be a cloudy and a breezy day. And then on Wednesday, a blast of air from the Arctic, a significant wind chill with quite strong winds on Wednesday, and there will be a few wintry showers in the mix as well, particularly for the hills. Some breaks in the cloud away from the hills, but we'll see rain slipping down that Pennine chain overnight. The winds will pick up and it will be much milder than last night. Temperatures dropping back to around 7 or 8 degrees. So tomorrow, a cloudy and a breezy day across the board, with rain moving down onto the Dales and then gradually spreading southwards and eventually eastwards through the afternoon. But away from the hills, a lot of the rain will be light and patchy, and parts of East Yorkshire, South Yorkshire may well not see any rain until much later in the day, if not after dark. But along that Pennine chain, it could be heavy and persistent, mild and breezy, 13 or 14 degrees, and much chillier and much windier as well on Wednesday.
Well, that's your lot. Claire will be with you bright and early at 6:30 in the morning. From all of us here, sleep well. Good night.